Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome to another episode of Pan the Organizer. I'm here in Eddie Cologne's garage. I'm in Pocatello, Idaho, and we're testing a bunch of new products because the House of Rags, as you guys know, Eddie and Jamie are the owners of the House of Rags. Well, they distribute a bunch of products, including the Clean by Pan the Organizer products, but also some exclusive brands for the first time brought into the USA. And today we're looking at Mile Deep, a brand from the UK. So the exclusive importers are the House of Rags. And Jody and Tim, the owners of Mile Deep, by the way, a big shout out to both of you because you've created a stout lineup. Of course, I will want you guys to tell me which other products in the brand you want me to look at next. But today I'm doing a deep dive. So this was my first contact, my first experience with these products. So more specifically, we're talking about Mile Deep Release. So this is their concentrated citrus pre-wash. We're also looking into Mile Deep's Snow, so a concentrated snow foam, also part of the pre-wash, so dual stage. You're going to see all of that in a demo, by the way. For the contact wash, we have their Cleanse, basically a concentrated pH neutral shampoo. So for the bucket wash or the contact wash. And last but not least, something that can help to revive a bit of the hydrophobics, add a bit of protection, but in a cool, easy way with a foam cannon. This is the Mile Deep Sheen. By the way, guys, don't worry. I'll leave the links to all this stuff in the description under the video for you guys to check them out. So all you have to do is sit back, relax, and enjoy the show. Also, quick disclaimer, this is not a sponsored video. Nobody paid for this video. So I'm giving you my thoughts and opinions using this for the first time. Now, if we start with the pre-wash, a good and effective pre-wash, if you guys watch my videos, you'll know that it is very important because we're removing any of that grit, basically that sandpaper-like grit, dirt, whatever you want to call it, that's on top of a vehicle. And this is the end result behind me right now, but in the B-roll footage, you're going to see everything we've done to it. So Eddie has been through a run from Idaho all the way to Montana, hundreds of miles of driving back and forth, bug guts, a bunch of crap from the roads. It was snowing in Montana too, by the way. So the vehicle was exposed to a bunch of dirt, as you hopefully can see on screen right now. And so it's important to do the pre-wash to remove that grit and to be left over with just a slight film. So none of that dirt anymore, particles, but we can go ahead and do the shampoo once we do an effective pre-wash. So how did we do this? First of all, so we used the Release, which again, this is our concentrated citrus pre-wash. So how you would use this, depending on the type of soiling you have. So they give you clear instructions in the back, which is something I really like. So you do a 1-to-1 dilution ratio. So 1 part water, 1 part product. If you have heavy soiling, in this case, it was mediumly dirty. So we used a 1-to-5 dilution ratio in the foam cannon. That's for medium soiling. And you'd use a 1-to-10 dilution ratio if you have something very light soiling for your regular maintenance. This is safe on coatings, by the way. This will not strip your ceramic coatings or your ceramic sprays. So you'd put that into your foam cannon, the appropriate dilution ratio depending on your dirt. We foam that on the vehicle itself. And then you move on to the next step. So on top of that, you're going to use a snow foam. Why? To let that dwell, right? So especially, for example, if you're working outside, ideally, guys, never detail cars in direct sunlight. It's not the best user experience, regardless of which product you're using. Work in the shade on a cool surface or in a garage if you can. So the next one, snow, concentrated snow foam in this case. So again, for the pre-wash stage, right? What we want to do is help to lift and encapsulate all the dirt and debris. But by spraying the snow foam on top of their citrus pre-wash, you're allowing extra dwell time for the citrus pre-wash. By the way, guys, for the snow, so this is the concentrated pre-wash snow foam, we used a 1-to-10 dilution ratio. So 1 part of product to 10 parts of water. But again, you can follow their instructions or directions in the back, super clear, depending on your level of soiling once again. So 1-to-10 parts for heavy soiling, 1-to-15 parts for medium soiling, and 1-to-20 ratio for light soiling. So you can spray this, of course, on the wheels, the tires, the inner fender wells, all that kind of stuff. Glass as well, no problem. And the same for the snow foam. You blanket basically the entire vehicle. You're going to let that dwell a few minutes, depending on your conditions, the temperature, humidity, anywhere from 2 to 4 minutes. Try to not let these dry on the surface. That's important. Keep the surface moist. And then you simply rinse off. What I like to do for the pre-wash is rinse from bottom to top. So you're going to start that initial pass to get rid of that grime, right? Once again, so that dirt particle that you're trying to remove, all that loose dirt and debris, and then you fully rinse, and all that's left is just a slight film, but none of that grit. So then we moved on to this part. By the way, I didn't tell you the dilution ratios. So for the Mile Deep Snow Foam, in this case, we used a 1:20 dilution ratio in the foam cannon. So if you want to make it simple, 1 ounce with 20 ounces of water, that's super simple, or 30 mils of the product to 20 ounces converted to milliliters, whatever that is. I'll try and leave that on screen for you guys. So once you rinsed the both pre-wash snow foams and the citrus off the paintwork, once again, we combine both of these steps, right? So you move on to your cleanse. This is a pH neutral shampoo that you dilute in the bucket. The good thing about this, lubrication on the surface was insane. It also smells good. It's just a light scent, so nothing too jarring, nothing that's gonna off-put you if you don't like things that smell too much. And in the bucket, we used a 1:200 dilution ratio. Once again, in the back, very good directions, very simple. 1:80 dilution ratio if you have heavy soiling on the vehicle, 1:200 for medium soiling, which again is what we use today, or 1:400 if you have light soiling or for your regular weekly washes, for example. So in the bucket, once again, I could tell using the Clean by Pan, the Organizer microfiber wash mitt that we are working on, right? That's coming. That's a little Easter egg for you guys in there. I see my man Eddie behind the camera. He's smiling because he knows how good it is. So I'm quite happy with that. But it just glided on the surface. So the lubrication levels, this is what we look at, by the way. One of the most important criteria for a quality shampoo for the bucket wash is the lubrication. Why, Pan? Because when you're gliding that wash mitt, anytime you do some contact, whether it's with your wash mitt during the contact wash or with your microfiber drying towel during the drying stage, anytime something physically touches the paint, that's when you increase chances of marring, scratching, and swirling. So the more lubrication you have on the surface, the less chances you have of marring. This did a fantastic job. And of course, we rinsed everything off and we could tell that it brought back the hydrophobic properties. There was different types of protections applied in different sections. So not all similar types of protection, but it brought back whatever it needed to do. Great job at cleaning. So this trio of a system, thumbs up from Pan the Organizer. Now, at the end, if you want to top off that protection, you want to add a little bit more of that beading, you want to have that water sheeting. I know a lot of people appreciate that, the quick shedding of the water, right? So they have something that is called Sheen. So it's a gloss drying aid. So what does that mean? Are you spraying it on? There's no sprayer on this. No, you use a foam cannon. Once again, in the back. 3 different dilution ratios that they recommend. 1:10 for the initial fresh coating, which is what we used in this video. 1:20 for sporadic, they call here top-up coating, or 1:50 parts for regular top-up coating. So that's up to you to decide, but in this case, 1:10, because it's the first time we were using this for this protection. So you would do your dilution in your foam cannon, you would spray it on. Now, you're not expecting super thick, rich foam like you would with the snow foam, because that's not what this does. So it's going to be more runny, because what we're doing here is adding a bit of protection, right? You're topping off your existing protection. Or even if you don't have any protection on your paintwork and you want to add a bit of hydrophobic properties to make the vehicle a lot easier to dry off after the rinsing stage, right? That is why they call this a drying aid, because it helps. And gloss, why? Because it adds a little bit of that gloss. So you get that nice water beading, but what I mainly noticed with this is how quickly the water sheets off when you apply this. So you would foam it on, you're gonna let it dwell. Again, always follow the instructions. I always say that, right? That's why the chemists work hard for the instructions. So they say here, allow to dwell for up to 5 minutes, but that depends on your temperature and your humidity conditions. So once the dwell time is over, you rinse off. It doesn't matter if it's top to bottom, bottom to top, whatever it may be. And it's good for glass for your wheels as well, inner fender wells, whatever you guys want. And you foam that on, let it dwell, rinse that off, and boom, you got protection. And to dry, another Easter egg, we had the Clean by Pan, the Organizer microfiber drying towel, dual-sided. So one with twisted loop and the other side with micro twisted loop. So you're getting the best of both worlds. If you guys prefer one side, right, with that shorter nap, tighter weave that doesn't get snagged on emblems, for example, or the traditional side with the twisted loop, both sides absorb great. The finish quality, South Korean blend, by the way. The guys over at the House of Rags, this is my participation or collab with Eddie and Jamie. Both of them love their towels. If you guys haven't followed their channels, go subscribe, because they're, can I say that on my channel? They are microfiber, beep, I won't say whatever, but meaning they really, really like high quality stuff. So they went straight to the source. They found a factory that produces crazy stuff. So look for many microfiber stuff added to the Clean by Pan, the Organizer lineup in collaboration with the House of Rags. So that's going to be amazing. Now, all these products, I'm going to leave linked in the description under the video. Know that this is exclusive in the USA to the House of Rags. They're the only distributors and importers of this stuff. And we're going to have other videos on the channel where I do more dives into other brands that you might not have seen in North America, Canada, US, Mexico, wherever you are in North America. I think you guys are actually going to love this. So once again, Mile Deep, thumbs up. If you guys have used this, drop comments in the comment section. What are your favorite products from Mile Deep? I want to know. I like to read you guys' comments. And also, if there's any other products in the brand you want to see reviewed on my channel, always let me know. It's more than my pleasure to do deep dives. I like to discover this stuff. And for my first time with this, I mean, even the labels, look at this. How clean looking does that look? No pun intended, because I like clean looking stuff, but they did their research and clearly they know what they're doing. So Mile Deep, awesome. Again, links in the description under the video. Keep it tight, keep it clean, and I'll see you on the next one.